Squad 44 recently released their 6-month roadmap and also implemented a pretty interesting update that seemed good at first, but has unfortunately been met with some harsh criticism, which has been annoying because some of these issues include players experiencing 1 FPS, some severe lag even if the server is in the region, and then eventually leading to a game crash. Because I've been trying to record some gameplay, then suddenly in the top left you'll see half the server has been booted. And to give you an idea of how much I've been lacking lately, there's already been a hotfix released, but those were issues that people did experience, and maybe for the first time they even played the game, but I really gotta get my act together and upload more. But moving on to more good things, a new game mode has been implemented called Frontlines, where it takes the traditional offensive or territories game mode you're familiar with, but makes it more dynamic by not requiring you to fight over a flag that's really a random house or city center, because the attacking team needs to destroy certain things that can range from AA guns, bunkers, and AT guns, and the attacking team is able to build pontoons, which I believe are these bridge-like things that can help them flank around on some very linear maps, and the defending team is able to destroy these bridges. I like this because it adds a variety, and it can lead to squads saying they'll focus on dealing with one objective and another can focus on dealing with the other. One thing that confused me at first though was the fog of war mechanic, because I thought it would be like Project Reality's insurgency mode where you have to search nearly the entire map, and if you get intel it can eventually reveal itself, but from what I've gathered and experienced, you won't know the location of the next objectives until the current one has been dealt with. But the next thing that's been implemented was a mod called Project Variety, which added even more vehicles to the game, and this is one of the aspects that I prefer over Hell Let Loose, and that is there is much more vehicles with different purposes and classes, and the tank mechanics are just so much better, because while I enjoy tanking in Hell Let Loose, even though that ultimate tier list did my head in, but it does get stale after a while, starting with the same 75 Sherman, facing off against a Panzer IV, and then if your team is bothered with nodes, progress to the 76 Sherman to face off against a Tiger or Panther. God forbid if you ask for a 75 Jumbo. I did that once and got essentially mocked by everyone in command chat, but with the recent update, we see the 75 Jumbo added into Squad 44, and this thing has actual effective armor that can contest a Tiger and has a strong turret to complement it. Well, at least that's what War Thunder has had me believe, because screw people that put bushes over the MG port, but it's good as an infantry support vehicle, since if you face the enemy, most things that you can throw at it will just leave a tiny scratch on the paint job. Other cool additions include the M4 Calliope, which adds in rockets, my favorite addition however, and this is such a niche and weird tank that I love, and that is the Stura Emil, with its big, fat, and juicy 128mm cannon. Only 2 have ever been made, and you can see, well, no, none of us can actually see it, but it's over at the Kubinka Tank Museum in Russia, and I believe the purpose of it was to destroy bunkers, which is perfect for the new game mode. However, it is a pain to drive, but it does have a nice 15 degrees of gun depression, which is great on hilly maps. A bit of an anecdotal story about the Hetzer. My dad broke my computer mouse when I was 12 because he broke all of his mice because he was playing World of Tanks, got behind one in his little tier 2 tank and tried to pen it from behind, did little to no damage, and it had enough time to do a 180 and one-shot him. This tank within my family is despised, but it's a small and fast, nimble little tank, and I imagine it could be used to set up ambushes and retreat quickly. They also added in this German rocket truck, which instills fear in me, because hearing them whiz over your head is pretty scary. Unfortunately, there was a glitch at the moment of release where you can hear it reloading even though you aren't near it, which is really trippy. But all in all, there's over, I think, 40 new additional tanks that have been added with unique purposes, and I feel like this is great to keep the game fresh. But staying on the topic of vehicles, there have been a fair bit of infantry support vehicles added, and this is complemented with the ability to ride tanks. I cannot guarantee if this is a faster way to get to the point, which I found that out the hard way by taking taking a ride in a Matilda, but all factions can do this, and they took it out of the Soviet playbook because the Americans had sandbag spaced armor, bad idea because a certain US general did not like it. The Germans have the heat shield, which has unironically saved my skin in War Thunder, but it could increase the chance of spalling apparently in real life and making it worse. And the Soviets, well, the Soviets had sticking troops on the side of the tank, but all jokes aside, this is a cool addition, riding into town with the blaring sound of a tank engine and disembarking and going into the buildings to hide when things get hot. There was a memorable moment in Hell Let Loose on the map Kursk, me driving the IS-1 into the last point because we absolutely dominated the enemy and everyone was hopping on the tank and someone was playing the Sacred War song and we marched into that last point and capped it. I'm upset that I don't have the footage, but it was such a beautiful moment, and if they actually had tank riding in that game, it would have been so much better. But it's good to see Post Scriptum get that. Sakes, I didn't even script that in, that was a genuine fuck up. Good to see Squad 44 actually implement this mechanic, but come on. Time to talk about the biggest thing that you've hopefully stuck around to listen to, and that is the Pacific Theater. I know Enlisted has it, but that's Enlisted, which has gotten better over the years in the sense that it doesn't feel as janky like the last time I played it, but I gotta do an updated video on it. But it's also Rising Storm 1 that has the Pacific Theater, and it's incredibly frustrating trying to find a game that actually runs the Pacific Theater instead of the RO2 campaign. But in Squad 44, it is expected to release at the end of the year, and work is currently being done on it since some weapons have been done. It will include the Marines and the Japanese. The first map will be Iwo Jima. I can't pronounce that properly, I apologize, but I do hope they manage to squeeze in a sword in there somehow, whether that can be the squad leader who gets it, instead of a knife for the melee. But in terms of weaponry, I imagine the Japanese will get the Type 99 Arisaka, that Bren looking ass gun, I think the Type 99 LMG, that pistol you get at the start of the COD World at War campaign, can't remember its name, and I imagine the submachine gun will be that side-loaded weapon. I don't know the names of these weapons, I apologize. However, it has been speculated there will be an addition of flamethrowers, don't quote me on that, but I think it'll be pretty cool storming a beach and blowing the heck out of bunkers with one of these bad boys. I just hope they do it better than Hell Let Loose, because the flamethrower in that game was so underwhelming, especially when you compare it to the Rising Storm series, where the flamethrower is PTSD inducing. It instills a godly amount of fear into you. And also, I know that I make fun of Hell Let Loose here and there. I just want to clarify, I play and enjoy both games. I just mention Hell Let Loose as a comparison reason, but of course that doesn't mean I prefer or think one is better than the other or that one sucks. But ultimately, I hope they optimize these maps well and really capture that beautiful and colorful tropical Pacific atmosphere, because I think it'll be an interesting contrast between, let's say, something more dreary in Europe to the Pacific. I do believe that Rising Storm 1 did that really well. But finally, whether you love this game or hope that it fails, I think it's great that we're seeing new content on the horizon, more work's being done to improve the optimization, reworks, and new content to make it feel fresh, because this game could have just gone the Beyond the Wire route and be done for. I do believe there is lots of potential here, but this leads me on to my last point, and that is, why do you think this game sees such a low player count or doesn't retain a higher player count like other games in its niche? Because even with the recent Soviet mod, I woke up and I was ready to record about 2 days after it had released, and no one was playing it except 2 full servers of regular Squad 44. And I don't understand, because I did play a couple of games with this Soviet mod and it was cool. You had the Soviets with this automatic tank thing that absolutely obliterated me, and also the snowy atmosphere with the dynamic weather. It's cool, but I couldn't find the game to actually record properly with it. But do you think it's because of the lack of promotion of the game, or maybe the game just isn't as good as I think it is? I just hope when they drop the Pacific update, they really ramp up the promotion to hopefully sucker in some new long-term players, and of course, make sure that it is polished, put that Squad OWI skin money to good use, and get a good project out to really set some great long-lasting impressions. But I'm gonna end today's video there. If you did enjoy it, please do consider leaving a like, subscribing, and sharing the video with your friends, and also click on the video that is on screen because I know you'll enjoy it. My name is Tan2, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.